Hello, God's evening, and welcome back to my episode of Re's Being Refined by the Fires. Today, I'd like to reflect on remembrance and celebration because this is the second year of Re's Being Refined by the Fires. It made 2 years old on Saturday, but on Saturday, I attended with a church friend, or with a friend and her daughter. It was supposed to be me and my daughter going with her and her daughter, Teresa and Skylar, but it turned out Jean-Michel had another obligation with NOBA, the New Orleans Ballet Association. So I just attended with Teresa and Skylar, and it was wonderful. They had a guest speaker there. Let's see. And it's fancy. They had pre-printed invitations. And even the menu was pre-printed on the table. The guest speaker the message was given by Kimberly Washington Wilson. And it was awesome. Awesome. But let me focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. This is supposed to be about the second year of my podcast. I can't believe it's been 2 years of stories, struggles, lessons, and victories, all pointing back to God's faithfulness. Looking back to my very first episode on September 13, 2023, when I was first starting out, I remember when I first pushed the recording button, and I was nervous and scared, but I felt like God had called me to share my story, all of my messes, mishaps, and mistakes that He took and gave me messages for. I needed to share that, to let other people know that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep believing, keep on trying, get up and try again. Because Lord knows I am far from perfect. So some of the challenges of starting something new is because I had no idea how long my episode should be, what equipment I needed. And I tried to do that online, but and when I bought it, I tried it because I have a mic, but I don't use it because normally I record on my phone in the truck. And my husband does all my editing. So, and it's like, this pretty much is my studio, because I'm on the go all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm picking up my daughter from school now. But I was just all over the place. I was doing a lot of ranting about my childhood because I was like, I didn't know exactly where to start. So I figured I'd just do my childhood on up to my current life. And I got up to my 5th grade year. And then in December, it just coincidentally or godlessly, I had COVID on Christmas, just me. And God put in my heart, in my spirit, to not do that. Even though I was telling the truth, not to do that. So I listened and obeyed, and He said, He gave me the inspiration to focus more on the errors, the trials from my life, usually self-inflicted errors, that He turned my messes, my mini messes, into my messages, so I could deliver and help somebody else. who's going through something. Maybe you'll see yourself in one of my videos and you'll be like, I'm gonna try that, and it'll turn out better for you. You'll have a different result. So that was my turnaround moment, the end of 2023, after doing rant videos after rant videos and rant videos. And I also started doing, he gave me the idea to start doing special guest episodes in September of that year. So that my very first guest was my cousin Keisha, who also happened, coincidentally, guidedly, has the same, was born with the same birth defect that I had. She grew up having headaches and couldn't understand why, and her mom would just tell her to go lay down, and she, just like me, she couldn't figure out why do I always have headaches? I don't never hear other kids say they got headaches. And little did we know, we were living with ticking time bombs in our head. And my ticking time bomb's date was set to go off exactly 7 days after I gave birth to my youngest daughter, ZM. But and thanks be to God that God used the doctor with the knowledge that he knew which, after he did my life-saving surgery, he knew where to send me for treatment, because the hospital that he worked at specialized in older stroke patients. And since I was younger, I needed to go to the hospital that he used to work at, which was Turo Infirmary. And they had a great inpatient program, because he used to work there before. So things was just, even though it was really bad, God had his hands working it all out for my good all along, because he put people around me who could help me, who knew what resources I needed to get me the best treatment possible. And thanks be to God, here I am today. Not perfect, but no one will be perfect. Jesus is the only perfect man that walked this earth. But I'm close to being back to myself as much as I can be. Thanks be to God. And some key moments from episodes where I felt God's presence leading the message was my Trump issue. Something like sound the trumpet, God's pick. That's why I chose Trump. God had put it on my spirit to vote for Trump. Now, Trump's changed his mind now and is acting like a dictator. But when he was running for office, he was acting like a godly man. But now he's acting like a maniac. And he forget he's the commander-in-chief of the United States. This is not a dictatorship. So gotta pray on that. Pray. Prayer works. I'm a beneficiary. I'm a living witness of prayer. But and also I found a video earlier this morning when I went to do my God walk that Pope Leo the 14th, yeah, his video, he did a video titled Shocking Warning to Donald Trump, America. Shocking warning to America, Donald Trump. Shocking warning to Donald Trump, America can't ignore. Watch that video when you get a chance. It's on YouTube. That was my reasoning. I know a lot of people who obviously voted for Trump because he won by a landslide. And now people are bashing him and bashing people who voted for him. But it's like, at the moment, he was the better choice. I wasn't going to vote his opponent back in. Giving women rights to have abortions in their later terms. It's like, no. I've had 2 abortions and I regret having those. But mine was early. I can't imagine having a late term abortion. You might as well go on and had a baby. You got that far, you showing. I don't understand. Some people not worth the skin they in. And I'll say that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Some people aren't worth the skin they in. So, but if you've been here since the beginning, thank you. And if this is your very first episode, welcome to the family. Refine one. You are part of what God is doing here. Going back to the name, I came up with the name because that was inspired by my name, my handle, for my email that I came up with. I had to have a handle, an email handle for when I was going to the Art Institute to get my email. That was my first email address, so that was big. And a lot of people, they weren't using their name, so I couldn't use my Renicia.Kuye@gmail or Renicia.Kirby at probably Hotmail. But so I was trying to be creative, and I was like, God, what can I use? You know, so, and I didn't have a close relationship then. It was just a thought. And I think I said God. But and he gave me the word refine, and that's how I became Refine98 at hotmail.com. So over the past 2 years, I've been refined spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Personally, by learning that I don't always have to have it all together. God will give you what you need when you need it. All he asks is that you start and have an open and willing heart and be obedient to his call. He called me to do this. Is it perfect? No. But I'm doing it, and with his help. And as far as I'm gonna do this until I take my last breath. So, and I'd like to connect it to a scripture. 1 Peter 1, 6 and 7. These trials will show your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Isaiah 43 and 2. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. That's true, because I don't smell like smoke. Literally, I don't look like all I've been through, because I'm a survivor. Trials are not wasted. They produce endurance, wisdom, and a testimony for others to learn by seeing themselves in your story. I'd like to acknowledge God's faithfulness. 2 years ago, this was just a vision in my heart. And God reads your heart. He knows your heart. And he knows his children. Today is a living, breathing testimony of how God takes little and makes much. Because I celebrate milestones of having a total of 88 episodes. 88. 8. I have 19 Did You Knows, 37 Reads, And my special guest testimonies, I have 21. And I love getting feedback from my listeners. I got feedback from on my cousin Rosalind. She was my second guest in November that year. And it was from Carmen Boston 58. That's your handle. I think your Instagram handle. And you said, "What an awesome interview, cousins. I've been enlightened and touched in a very special way. Much love and many blessings to you both always." Thank you, Carmen. I hope you see this video. Thank you. I appreciate it. And guys, take Carmen's initiative and write me a note. I love getting feedback in the comments like that. She let me know, and that was years ago. That was when I first started. And that's kept me going. To this point, I look back and I reflect on her single comment. One comment has carried me from September 13, 2023. I forget the date of Roz's interview, but that was in November 2023 to September 2025. Almost 2 years. Yeah. So, my listeners are part of my community. And you're in a refining process too. Everyone's in a refining process. We're constantly changing and going through different situations and having experiences, and God's in the work, in the midst of all of it, whether you ask him or not. He's at work. Of course, he loves to hear from you. He loves to hear from his kids. You are his child. Yes, and I'm looking forward. God is doing something new. And something new is, when God's doing it, it's always the best. Whether you agree with it or not, you get used to it. Just keep on using it. He's not going to give you anything that's not for your good. So new is different. But different's not a bad thing. It could be used for good. It's just different, meaning you're not used to it. But yeah, in the coming season, my next season, season 2, year 2, I'll be adding maybe more But God segments, maybe from the not only from the, well, I have a lot of different groups that I'm a part of, and it's amazing how God has his hands, and people are so interconnected, and we don't realize it, but God is amazing. I have a hard time in my little pea brain keeping up with what all I have to do, and I've done an amazing job, because 2 years, 3 episodes, maybe 4 sometimes, a month, I've done extremely well. And I can't imagine people who have podcasts where they do more than 4 shows a month, more than 3 to 4 shows a month. That has been a feat, a challenge. But if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yep. But no, so in the new season, maybe I have more but God from special guests, and it'll just be a But God where I ask my signature questions from when they was an infant. No, from when 3 to 5 years ago, from when they was a child or a teen to a young adult. Something current, something when they was a kid, or something when they was a baby. And the baby, they may not necessarily remember themselves, because my first guest, Josh, from my first guest from Life Songs, their month is December, and he told me that one thing that he was told by his parents, well, his mom, that they didn't have any money. They had just moved to New Orleans, and they had been praying that God send them whatever they needed. And God didn't drop a check on that. They needed food. So God put it on somebody's heart to go, and I don't know whether they bought the food or whether they put food from their own house in a bag, but whatever, they brought groceries and left the bag at the door and knocked. They don't know who it was, but somebody left a bag of food that they needed at that time. Yep. On their doorstep. God will give you what you need, not what you want. He ain't gonna drop a bag of money. He'll send somebody with the resources, but he's not gonna drop a big check on you. It'll come in other ways. Yep. And I may start doing special guest interviews with clergy to focus on more on what we should be doing, how we should be living, things that we should and shouldn't be doing. And it's amazing that, guys, we need to pray, because different churches, even the Methodist church that I attend now, they've gone through a separation over whether or not they want to have, they disagreed on whether they want to have marry same-sex couples or accept them into the worship. And that was big for them to split the church over. What is this world coming to? And it's a lot. That's just one thing, but it's a lot going on in the world. The devil is having his way. He's having a heyday with Christians. And we need to stop letting him get us that riled up to where he has that much impact in our lives. Yep. So, but no, I want to do monthly themes, like with people who have certain illnesses. I'll look up and see what months those are, and then I'll interview different people who have those illnesses. And then community connections, because I'm connected. Life Songs is one of my connections. I also take dance from NOBA, the New Orleans senior dance class. Same NOBA that Zahn has classes with. As a matter of fact, the main teacher that she has is over the Nutcracker every year, is my senior dance teacher. And I've been getting with her. I'm going to interview her soon. But community connections. The Burnell's 9th Ward Market last month for Katrina. That was a community connection. And my other ladies in my exercise class. My Southern Christian Writers Group. I have several people in there that will have interesting stories to share. So I have a lot going on, a lot. But I'm just so happy, because it's not like I have to sit here and wait to think of content. I have more than enough content. So I'm just thankful. Thank you, Lord, for thinking of me and it can be a bit much sometimes, but I have to take a nap. I try to take a nap daily to rest myself, to rest my brain. That way I'll be refreshed when I have to go and pick up Zon Michelle and bring her either back home or get her back to dance. I have to be fresh. I can't dance. I can't be driving my child around not being fully refreshed. And the way I refresh myself is sleep. I love me some sleep. But so, and to encourage I also might do my readers question. Are you a reader? Because you know readers are leaders. So what are you reading? What book, and what's the title of the book and the name of the author? So that'll be 3 things that 3 questions I'll have to, and the question about which group were you a part of in high school? And Miss Tina, she really threw me off when she said a pothead. I can't believe Miss Tina was a pothead. But people don't lie about stuff like that, about bad habits. So it must be true. But so I want to encourage you guys to my podcast, just like my podcast has grown, sow your faith. Just don't despise small beginnings. God is still writing your story. And thanks again for journeying with me. Please know that after my 24th, after my special guest interview next week with Burnell and Keisha Cotland, their personal interview, is posted next Wednesday, the 24th. I'll be taking my regular 2-week break, and we'll be getting ready for my second year of questions and the work that needs to be done. But please subscribe, subscribe, so you'll be notified when I post my next video. And drop me a comment to let me know how my content made you feel. Also, share with 3 other people to bring them into the know about my show. Thanks, and may you... I invite you to celebrate with me on social media. Maybe you could send them, you could send in your testimonies of how my podcast has impacted you. 2 years. I posted this on Instagram. I'm so proud. So proud. Second anniversary on YouTube. Reeves being refined by the fires. Yep. This year has been 2 years. This has been 2 years of fire, faith, and refinement. And I wouldn't change a thing. Until next time, remember, the fire doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to refine you. Love you guys, and have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye-bye.